This is James with Mana Talk. Mana meaning mystical Polynesian power, and talk meaning just use your freaking words. And there's a lot of words going on right now in regards to MAGA and MAHA and MASA and MAFA, Make America First Again. There's also, man, it's just adding up. Something's happening with Trump, and I'm trying. So many of us are like going, "What the fuck?" I mean, yes, 1,000 times better than the direction we were going. I get it for sure, and we need to all see that, and all know, and all remember what was going on during the illegitimate Biden administration. And I was trying my hardest to warn everybody of the vax and warn everybody of the scam, whatever plan, the demic, whatever the fuck that was. But I was also looking very closely at what Trump was doing. And I've been following the guy pretty closely. I mean, not physically. I've never been anywhere near him. But I've watched him and paid attention to his words and what he's saying and what he's doing. And there's been a lot of activity. I can say the inflation was raised dramatically and terribly during the illegitimate Biden administration, and that's still being repaired. But for God's sakes, and by the way, thank you, President Trump, for the changing the prices or getting the better prices for the eggs and the gas. That's cool, but there's like everything else. Steak is still $1 billion. Pork chop's still $1 billion. It's, I'm exaggerating tremendously, but for a lot of people, that's expensive. And then this new thing that came out. I think that it was let me just see what I got here. It's Social Media Sunday. I'm just going to keep it on Sunday from now on. I was going to do Saturday or Sunday, but I'm going to keep it on Sunday. But anyway, thank you all for being here. Like and subscribe, share. And my goal is to just kind of, this is more of a documentary. Are good apples. Here's my bite. Hard to get these days. But let's see what we got here. Oh, this is good. I'm watching the Packers game, and I guess there's a few teams out there still using these extra padding. I'll get in the whole Trump, MAGA, MAFA, and all that stuff in a second, but I just wanted to point this out. There was the university that I work with, or for, etc. They had a football team. They were playing an undefeated team. They're not doing too well this season because they have a bunch of young players, and I think there's only like 8 returning seniors. But they're doing pretty good for such a young team. A lot of freshmen, a lot of sophomores, maybe a few juniors. And they're playing this good team, and they're starting to beat these guys pretty bad. And then I think it was like halfway through the second period. And I'm listening to the game, and I'm working because I work on Saturday. And one of the linebackers just nails this running back 3 yards deep in the backfield. Pretty much stands him up, wrapped him up somewhat. And then the DB comes and finishes him off. And they threw a flag for excessive force. Just like, what the fuck? I was like, the commentators that I was listening to were saying, I can't believe they just threw a flag. What are they throwing the flag? What the hell is that? That was just a great stand-up play by the linebacker. And it's a swarm. They have to come in and finish and put the person to the ground. Whatever means possible. And if you're in the hash marks, And if you're in the center of the field and you're running the ball, you better stay low and keep your head up, but down low. You don't want to turn your head down when you're running. You want to keep it low and tucked in. Anyway, there's a way to do it so it doesn't kill you. But I heard the commentators were saying there's no way there's a flag for that. That was just a great defensive play by the linebacker to get him 3 or 4 yards, whatever, behind the line. They didn't block him, obviously. That's what they said. And it was just football. It was football. And then that kind of changed that tamed the game, in my opinion, because they were really dominating this team. These kids were dominating that team. They were up by, I don't know, like 2 touchdowns, and they were doing a really great job at taking on this undefeated team. Their record was, I think, 5-4 or 4-5, something like that. Not that great, but they were doing a good job. But when you have an official come out and throw this flag for hitting too hard or being too physical or playing with an immense amount of intense physicality or athleticism, you're toning down that team. You basically just tamed that team. And I was dumbfounded. I was a little pissed because I feed these kids and take care of them. You know, I want them to have quality food, good service, safe food. I want them to be healthy and strong. And they're good kids. And the thing is, I was compelled to write the commissioner, and I did. And blah, 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 make a long story short, and what I said, the game was never created. And what they're going to say, whoever approaches them, and this is what I said, part of it in there was, the first thing you guys are going to say, for the safety of the players, that's when you just fucked up football. That's when you just made football retarded. That's when you just made football flag football. That's when you just turned it into fucking soccer, right? And I'm not really a big fan, sorry, of soccer, you know, for all the flops and stuff like that. So he responded, the commissioner, which I thought was cool. I put the wrong date on there for some reason. I don't know what the fuck happened. But I talked to a few of the players. They totally agreed with me. I showed them my text. They're like, yeah, for sure. We submitted it also. Because they submit, each team will submit, depending on how the game's going, to the commissioner, to the referee, administration, whatever the fuck that is, what's going on. And they totally agreed. It was terrible. And I said that kind of changes the game. You know, when you're told to, hey, you know, be softer. Don't be as aggressive. So my point was, at the end of what I wrote, was the game was never created to be safe. The game was created to be punishing, grueling, intense. Just the physicality is, it's about 12 minutes from when the ball is snapped. On average, this is the time, about 12 minutes from when the ball is snapped or lifted up off the ground and given to the quarterback or whatever the play starts, to when the whistle is blown, of total play time. So I always, when I used to, I didn't coach football, which is weird. I should have fucking coached football. But I've told people that play, I said, all you got to do, and I used to tell my kids when they played, I said, all you got to do is 12 minutes of everything you got, right? And that has to be that same thing. So the problem is this where we're going? I mean, we just, like I posted on Facebook a few times, that during the Pro Bowl last year, they decided to not use the full teams and play 11 on 11 and decided to play 7-on-7 or something. Flag football. That was fucking disgraceful. And now they got this shit. What the fuck are these extra padded wraps around the helmets? I'm like, what the fuck? Well, it's cool. I like Green Bay. They won. I like Green Bay. Right? I like New York, too, because of that Scattaboo kid. And Dart, really good quarterback, but I don't think he wasn't playing today. Winston didn't do a bad job. I watched some of it. But it's just... It's like they're going in the direction of just destroying the game. That's it. When people go to watch hockey, and I've been to several hockey games. I used to watch the Ducks all the time. I used to watch the Kings several times. I've been to their arenas. I've been to the stadiums. I've been to dozens of college football games with USC and UCLA and San Diego State and University of Hawaii, which I played. I was a linebacker, red shirt at the time when I played. But the thing is back in the day, it was, you got to get hyped up. When I'm doing this show, I am probably the most low-key casual person. But if I'm 20-something years old and I'm playing football, it's a totally different state of mind. It's you have to understand why these guys are pounding their chests, just like, and that's part of the game. You want to see the gladiator sport, and that's what it is. Nobody's out stabbing anybody with swords and shields or spears or fucking clubs or what, spike clubs, whatever. But people kind of like to see, and girls like it. They want a man that's out there that can fucking handle punishment. That's tough, that's strong, right? I think that's vitally important. When it comes down to it, you want your man to be strong. I don't, or your girl, whatever you're doing. But it's just terrible. And now they're wearing these fucking. Have you ever seen the movie Spaceballs? Right? They have this character on there. It's Rick Moranis plays. I'm just gonna find it. Just a second. I gotta find it. Yeah, there it is. That's what it looks like. It's like a big, oversized, fucking retarded thing on this person's head. It's just fucking ridiculous. And it's just like, you know what? Let's look at that side of safety, right? Let's look at the safety side. The helmets are not created to be soft, period. People like to hear the pop. They like to hear the pow, the whatever. Ooh, nice hit. Oh, you're going to hear that in the crowd. Big. But they don't want to see this shit. They don't want to see this fucking bullshit here. That's not what football is about. I mean, it's like another inch of padding on there. And there were 2 receivers wearing it for the Packers. It's probably another half a pound or pound on there. It's just, fuck, no. We need football in America to be football, period. Make America first again. So I had to go on that rant. It's starting to really bother me in regards to just the amount of floozyism or pansyism, whatever you want to ism and call it. But we need tough people out there, right? We don't need. And then somebody's going, well, they got concussions. And look, when they first started football back in, 100,000 years ago or wherever it started, they didn't have helmets. And then they went to leather padded helmets, no face mask. And then they had a bar across. That was it. And then they started using these giant. Then when I came in, they started using these heavy fucking. So right now, pads back in the day were about half as heavy as they are now. And the helmets were half as safe. And obviously you can tell. But what I'm saying is that's not the point. The point is it's fucking football. American football. Oh, my God. It's just fucking ridiculous. I hope I'm not missing a point here. But I'm just saying to you, I don't want to go in that direction. That's just me. You know, if you want to go in that direction, you can create your own padded, everybody in bubble wrap. You know, if that's what you want to make a fucking football, then whatever. It's soccer moms. It's always soccer moms. I swear to God. But yeah, so this happened the other day, and I was watching this, switching back to MAFA, switching back to MAGA, switching back to MAHA, switching back to MASA. MASA, Make America Safe Again. MAHA, Make America Healthy Again. Make America Great Again. And then there's a new push. There's this new push that came out. It's called MAIA, which is Make America Israeli Again, it seems like. I'm just like, wait a second. Nobody fucking trusts that Yahoo. He's just, like I pointed out billions of times, the guy's just shit. He's the guy you really don't want to fucking come into your party. He's gonna betray you. He's just, and he's not who he says he is. But I gotta play this here.
I mean, the H-1B visa thing will not be a big priority for your administration, because if you want to raise wages for American workers, you can't flood the country with tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of foreign workers.
You also do have to bring in talent. When
we have plenty of talented people here.
No, you don't.
We don't have talented people here?
No, you don't have certain talents, and people have to learn. You can't take people off to bring in talent. When
we have plenty of talented people here.
No, you don't.
We don't have talented people here?
No, you don't have certain talents, and people have to learn. You can't to bring in talent. When
we have plenty of talented people here.
No, you don't.
We don't have talented people here?
No, you don't have certain talents, and people have to learn. You can't take people off an unemployment like.
He's not totally wrong. There are a lot of kids out here, and I work with them, that come from India, and they come from other countries. And they're determined to get their computer science master's degree, master's. And they do, and they're everywhere. If you go to a lot of D2 schools, just look around, you'll see a lot of kids from India. And they're wonderful. You might see some kids from China. You might see some kids from other countries. And they're good, decent kids. And they're trying to learn more and get more and build, and I get it. But then you also have to understand that we have American kids that come in with blue hair, nose rings, and lots of needed mental help attention. And it's just very bad. And you can say whatever you want, but I'm going to tell you right now, he's not completely wrong here, because it's the educational system, which is shit here. It is shit. They're teaching kids things that isn't going to do shit for them. I mean, I'm now learning things at the age of 50, 60 years old, right, that actually make a difference in my life. And this, for decades, we've been told that you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do this. No, these kids are kind of ahead of the game, these kids from these other countries. They're going into fields that are going to be needed, that are going to be worthy, that are talented. I get it. But, bro, Mr. President, we have talent here. When he said that, he knows what I'm saying to you. But he needed to also say, and this is the thing about Trump, because he doesn't really have a fucking public relations team. He doesn't. He fucking doesn't. He says whatever he wants, whenever he wants, and that's what I love about the guy. But at the same time, he can always stick his foot in his mouth every once in a while, which he does, and we've all heard it. But he's not totally wrong. The problem is, he needs a better PR team for sure, and he needs to listen to them and say, well, this is, if whatever question you get in regards to bringing students IB1 app or whatever the fuck that is, you have to try to get kids in the system, the school systems, especially the public school system. It's terrible. Get them involved, get them motivated, get them understanding the significance of these certain fields that you're saying we don't have talent in. That would have been the way to approach that, but he doesn't, and he's not completely wrong. It's just like you're slapping the face of the parents that are putting their kids in school, you're slapping the face of the kids that are already here. That's not going to go well. That didn't go well. If you're good, MAGA, Make America Great Again, I get it, right? But let's focus on the kids. That's where I'm at. I'm not running for president. I'm just telling you right now, it's not going to ever happen. But I wish that I could have a conversation with the guy or just be part of his PR team and say, look, you've got to start predicting questions for one. Your team sucks, whoever they are. Fire them all. You're fired. And because there's an array of questions out there and concerns, valid concerns that people have, right? I want these kids that come across the country to be able to do that, and they're going to get their visas, and they may become citizens. I'm not sure. There are other countries that we should go to learn things too. America, look, we're 37th as far as education is. I mean, he could have easily just said, hey, we're fucking 37th in the world. Before the Department of Education came, we were like in the top 3. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 3, 3. Maybe 4 every once in a while. And then all of a sudden they came out, they just dumbed you down. I'm telling you, they dumbed you all fucking down. The DEI shit started, right? They were hiring people because of their color, because of their gender, because of their pronouns. Got really fucking bad in the past 5 or 6 years. Retarded. That's still out there, by the way, especially in the blue states. But there are certain fields out there that require talent. And I don't, if he's talking about American Idol talent, I think we got that. Right? I think we got that. If we're talking about technical training talent, I think he's right. I think he's right. It's the way he fucking delivered that was shit. And like I said, his PR team sucks. So I'm not going to coach this guy how to speak or how to talk. I'm not going to say he's totally wrong. But what I am going to say is he needs to believe or find a way to this is the thing about him that fucking, it's like shoots from the hip guy. And when you're the president of the United States, when you're shooting from the hip, sometimes you're going to miss your target. That's what shooting from the hip means. It's like you're not aiming properly. You're not focusing on the right target, the right goal, the right saying, the right point you're trying to convey. And that's basically what he does a lot of times. So, yeah, it's getting stupid. And then I got to get into this too, because this is just really getting out of control. And I'm bringing up MAHA, and I'm bringing up MAFA, Make America First Again, Make America Israel Again, whatever. Fuck. It's just getting stupid and crazy. But if I go down this list, let me just open it up here. I'm going to keep playing this because that was a disaster. I think that interview was a disaster, honestly. I watched part of it. He didn't really do well there at all. I was just like, dude, what the fuck? What the fuck? You know, he's just, the guy's unscripted. You know, he goes off script like all the fucking time. I like that about him, you know. But he's only saying from what he's, just like me talking. The only things that are coming out of my mouth is the stuff that my brain's allowing me to retain and to convey and to release and to get it out there, right? So there's a lot of information he's just not getting. He was never a good actor in The Apprentice because that was like a reality show or something like that. But I gotta get my glasses so I can read this here. All right, so there's the thing. Yeah, that's a good one. The second one, if you can see that. Let's see if I can just make it a little bit bigger. Immigration scam that Charlie Cook was working on. That was interesting. This is interesting because this chick, I got to play this. This is Social Media Sunday. I'm probably going to take a break here in a little bit. That's right here. Okay. I'm going to do this in a new tab. There's probably going to be a commercial.
If you like to eat healthy and save money, let me put you on these beef sticks. This is the Paleo Valley 100% grass-fed beef sticks. They're gluten-free, soy-free, dairy-free, corn-free.
This is like my go-to snack.
There are no artificial preservatives or flavorings or any of that. This is a good, high-protein little snack.
They are so delicious.
They come in a bunch of delicious flavors that you can mix and match. I am loving the jalapeno one right now. If you want to give
it doesn't give me the option to stop this fucking commercial. Ugh. Okay, now it is. Okay, there we go.
Released documents from Jeff. This video is damning for the Democrats, and if you're the Republican Party, you want to have this on replay constantly. Democrat texting with Jeffrey Epstein in congressional hearing is the takeaway, and this was Stacey Plaskett, and you can see the Washington Post did an amazing job assembling all of this. Hats off to them. They write, newly released documents from Jeffrey Epstein's estate show that he appeared to be texting a member of Congress during a hearing like a puppet, instructing her what to say. And those texts may have influenced her questions. They directed her questions, not may have influenced. She was literally asking what Epstein was asking her to ask, like a little puppet. And we've got the video. Here is the story from the Washington Post saying newly released documents from the convicted sex offender's estate include text messages from him that appear to have influenced Stacey Plaskett's questioning. Newly released documents show that he was texting her, a Democrat, Delegate Stacey Plaskett of the Virgin Islands, during a congressional hearing with Michael Cohen, okay, another asset who was flipped and used to attack President Trump when they were prosecuting him for the false business records, 34 counts of nonsense with Alvin Bragg. In the middle of a congressional hearing, and those text messages were directing what she was asking. In the text, Epstein appeared to be watching the February 2019 hearing in real time, and at one point informed Plaskett, whose name is redacted in the documents, that Cohen brought up former Trump executive Ronna Graff in his testimony. At the same time, Cohen was testifying before the Oversight Committee against Trump, alleging that Trump was racist, manipulated financial records, and directed the hush money payments to Stormy Daniels. Cohen is manipulating the hearings via the Democrats in real time. Trump denied all of it. The president said on social media Cohen was lying. But here's the exchange over in Congress. This is a Democrat representative, and we've got Ro Khanna.
So you're going to ask yourself, so why aren't the Democrats why didn't the Democrats release the Epstein files that I'm sure they, like, raise your hand if you think they still have a full entire copy of the fucking Epstein files. Of course they do. And whoever else is out there, they've got it stowed away somewhere just in case they need it. And they recently tried to release some of it and it fucking backfired pretty bad. Message, are you chewing? Confirmed Jeffrey Epstein when he was alive, February 27th, 2019, was talking to this Democrat, Stacey Plaskett. How? What? It's not a big deal. You know, this is what you'll hear from the Trump derangement syndrome group, is they'll say, it's nothing. You know, he's just, you know, helping her out. I mean, he is that guy. He is the fucking predator of predators, right? And I believe the guy was an asset of the deep state. This is my take. I was listening to Kim Iverson the other day. She thinks he had more control, but she doesn't understand that Ghislaine Maxwell is the actual, because her dad and her influence was part of this globalist movement. And I'm not going to get into all that. I'm just saying Epstein was just a pawn. He was part of this gigantic framing of politicians and world leaders process. In other words, they created this giant, elaborate pedophile network, which sadly is probably still out there, especially during the illegitimate Biden administration, to coerce or to blackmail whoever they needed once they got to the island, once they were there, once they were doing their fucking sick shit, right? And the problem that is happening now is that people are saying, the problem for the Democrats is they're saying now is, well, Trump's not going to release it. It's like, well, you just tried to spill some of it and you just shit on yourselves. Right? And I'm going to show you that right now, because it's pretty fucking obvious of that situation, and I'll show you. Yeah, this is it right here. Shocking views sending emails up Trump came. Yeah, it's this one right here. I'll edit all this shit later. But yeah. Commercial. Here comes commercial. Commercial. Usually if it's spinning, there's
Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein were best friends because Epstein other failed attempt to connect Donald Trump to Jeffrey Epstein backfires and blows up in their face worse than they could ever imagine. 22,000 new emails just got released, and none of them implicate Donald Trump in any wrongdoings. In fact, they do the complete opposite. They blow a gigantic hole in the Democrat talking point that Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein were best friends. Because Epstein himself confirms he hates Donald Trump and accuses Trump of reporting him to the FBI in 2004, which led to his arrest. But what these emails do confirm is years of collaboration between Jeffrey Epstein, Democrat officials under Obama and Biden, collusion with Democrat journalists, all to undermine and slander Donald Trump's reputation. As always, like the video and subscribe to the channel, but this is one of the most crazy developments so far, so let's get straight into it. So,
all right, this one I'm going to take a quick break to listen to this guy. He's really good, Brandon Lehman. You know, once you're an influencer, you got all the technology, you know what you're doing, you probably have people helping you. This is the way it works. It looks really good. Good job, Brandon, by the way. And we need people coming up through the ranks for this, right? Telling their stories. You know, he is a MAGA guy, so whatever. I'm MAGA. I'm MAFA, actually, for sure. MAFA. Sounds Samoan. MAFA. Oh, that means. Anyway, I'm trying to remember what that means in Samoan. Anyway, I'll look it up. All right, watch this. This is good.
So the official Democrat Party Twitter page posted this quote from Jeffrey Epstein about Donald Trump. I have met some very bad people, none as bad as Trump. And this is from 2017, just a few years before Trump's DOJ arrested Jeffrey Epstein. The full quote from the email is this: Recall I've told you, I have met some very bad people, none as bad as Trump, not one decent cell in his body, so yes, dangerous. And the Democrats are running with this, pretending that Jeffrey Epstein is some moral paragon, some virtuous saint with high moral character. They are so Trump deranged and desperate to hate Donald Trump that they have allied themselves with the world's most notorious child predator. Like, do they think it would be better if Jeffrey Epstein said, "I love Trump, he's a man of such high character"? Democrats would then be running with the narrative that it's so despicable and disgusting that a person as evil as Jeffrey Epstein finds you a person of high moral standing. Any reasonable person would probably say it's a bad thing if Jeffrey Epstein likes you, and it's a good thing if the world's most notorious child predator doesn't like you. It means your values probably don't align, which is a good thing in this instance. And this is really the consistent theme throughout all of these leaked emails, is Jeffrey Epstein colluding with all kinds of powerful, wealthy, elite people, Democrat establishment people, Democrat journalists, to get revenge on Donald Trump for revealing Jeffrey Epstein's operation to the FBI. Here is that journalist, Michael Wolff, who conducted over 100 interviews with Jeffrey Epstein after he was already a convicted admitting that's how Epstein felt about Donald Trump.
Epstein believed that Donald Trump went to the Palm Beach police and said, Jeffrey Epstein has young girls at his house, thereby beginning the legal process which would ultimately bring Jeffrey Epstein down.
So not only is it coming out that Donald Trump is innocent, but Donald Trump may be the very reason that Jeffrey Epstein was arrested in the first place. So yeah, it makes sense that the world's most notorious child predator didn't like the guy that was blowing up his entire operation to the feds. You know who Jeffrey Epstein did like? Ghislaine Maxwell, and she's an awful, terrible person who was complicit in all of these atrocities. So while Democrats are trying to pretend that Jeffrey Epstein was a trustworthy, upstanding man with a humane moral compass and therefore his assessment of other people should be taken into consideration, the rest of us understand it's just basic mathematics, and that's not how it works. If a good person thinks you're a bad person, you're likely a bad person. But if a bad person thinks you're a good person, well, that means that you're likely a bad person. And if that bad person thinks that you're a bad person, well, it probably means that you're a good person. But it also turns out that Jeffrey Epstein was sending text messages to the U.S. delegate from the Virgin Islands in the middle of them questioning Michael Cohen on a hearing about Donald Trump. And here's a video of her from that hearing combined with the text messages her and Epstein were sending back and forth to each other. And Epstein is just feeding her information for the hearing. This is crazy. Watch.
This was when Barack Obama was president of the United States. And while we were once driving through a struggling neighborhood in Chicago, he commented that only black people could live that way. Attorney-client privilege, yes, I will turn it over.
You, as my friend Mr. Meadows pointed out, misled this committee even today in a written submission that contradicted your testimony. You have suggested you are going to review that. Are you going to review it in our next break to correct the record, yes or no?
Yes.
Question, you helped out the president's campaign or were involved in the campaign as a representative, as a spokesman, even in your words today. It was your idea for the campaign dating back to 2011. Is that accurate, yes or no?
Yes.
Mr. Weisenberg and other individuals, Ms. Rona. Who are those individuals? Are they with the Trump Organization?
They
and
are.
Are there other people that we should be meeting with?
So Alan Weisselberg is the chief financial officer.
Uh-huh. You got to quickly give us as many names as you can so we can get to them.
Yes, ma'am.
Is Ms. Rona, what is Ms. Rona's position?
Rona Graff is Mr. Trump's executive assistant.
And would she be able to corroborate many of the statements that you've made here?
Yes, her office is directly next to his, and she's involved in a lot that went on.
Now, the next part is where things start to get crazy. This is an email from a lady named Kathy Rumler. And who is she, you might ask? Well, at the time of these emails, she was White House General Counsel under Barack Obama. Epstein writes to her, "You need to talk to boss. She says, agreed, but I need to be prepared to say yes before I talk to him. Epstein says, understood. It comes down to high risk reward, low risk reward, professional, emotional, and financial. To which she responds, most girls do not have to worry about this crap. Jeffrey responds, girls, careful, I will renew an old habit. So it's just common knowledge at this point that Jeffrey Epstein is a child predator, and they're joking around with it in an email thread. Kathy responds, doesn't look like you're prioritizing your schedule very effectively. How are you going to manage all of that? This is Unga week, so the boss will be in town too. I'll be here all week. You may get sick of me. Just sat down on the train, so can't talk freely. UNGA is the United Nations General Assembly. Doesn't look like you're prioritizing your schedule very effectively. How are you going to manage all of that? This is UNGA week, so the boss will be in town too. I'll be here all week. You may get sick of me. Just sat down on the train, so can't talk
get that
freely.
part,
UNGA
everybody?
is the United Nations General
I'll play it
Assembly,
again.
and the boss at this point that Jeffrey Epstein is a child predator, and they're joking around with it in an email thread. Kathy responds, doesn't look like you're prioritizing your schedule very effectively. How are you going to manage all of that? This is UNGA week, so the boss will be in town too. I'll be here all week. You may get sick of me. Just sat down on the train, so can't talk freely. UNGA is the United Nations General Assembly, and the boss they're referring to is none other than Barack Obama. Now,
booyah, booyah. That's the part I wanted you guys to see the most of. Wow. Wow. Right? Like they're all having this jovial conversation, and they bring up Barack Obama. He's the boss. Ugh, fuck. Talk about stepping on your own dick, you know? I mean, it's just, for fuck's sakes, it's just kicking yourself in the nuts. Is that even possible? Anyway. Yeah, the whole, I'm not going to go through the entire thing. I'm just saying to you, it blew up in their faces pretty bad. But of course, mainstream media isn't talking about it. Just social media influencers, whatever these guys are talking about it now. And I'm at the point where if I'm looking at this and just woke up, you know, from a 20-year, you know, what do they call that? Comatose, whatever, or whatever. And I just see this, I'm like, wait a second. Isn't this the guy that, and you guys are just having these really jovial, candid conversations with this fucking shithead? And I said, what? It totally throws them into that darkness. It puts them into that place. It's just bad. And it blew up in their face like you wouldn't fucking believe. And it's just everywhere now. So the Demoncrats are Demoncrats for a reason. I'm just going to tell you, they're Demoncrats for a reason. And the thing that I brought up in my Facebook, wait, they just don't look like that. Yeah. Sorry to the Kansas City Chiefs, by the way. I look, they don't have a lot of guys that are injured. I mean, San Francisco, the Lions, Miami, they're just full of injured players. Kansas City's pretty healthy, and they can't beat this new kid, Bo Nix, who's doing a pretty good job in the team. That's crazy. I mean, you had 5-4 against an 8-2 team, but last year they destroyed them pretty much. It's pretty nuts. I recommend that you guys watch this. Netanyahu. This is from the Corbett Report. It kind of shows you what this guy's all about. And he's not... It's just... You know, look it up. All I'm saying is whoever... There's that confirmed thing that... the confirmed $7,000 that influencers are getting for... It's confirmed, by the way. It's not a lie. For pushing Netanyahu's talking points and agenda and supporting him. It's not worth it. The guy's not worth it. He's not fucking worth it. He's not what people claim he is, especially the Israel First people. which I'm just like, how is this even happening? How in the fuck is this happening? Right? And and Netanyahu, like I said, I think in a few of my videos, is sitting back laughing at all of us. He's probably snickering and laughing under his breath towards Trump, not with Trump, at Trump, saying, I'm fucking you over too. You know, you won't let me totally genocide these people. What the fuck is wrong with you? Whatever. I mean, it's just crazy. It's just nuts. And this polarization, this team against team, and MAGA is just basically fucking falling apart, right? And it's separating from MAIA to MAFA, which Make America First Again, against Make Israel First Always, it seems. And it's time. We have so much shit going on here that we need to fucking take care of. And the problem is I'm just not seeing it. I mean, I'm still paying, you know, what? I got a couple of steaks. What are they, like $27 for little fucking steaks? I'm just like, you know, and I eat good at school. I can eat steaks and shit, whatever, but I wanted to get these steaks look really good, so I picked them up. And I can afford it. I'm fine. You know, credit's getting a little bit better. I'm getting letters now from banks, dealerships, and you can finance cars and all this other shit. Just, God, that's the problem with that. Once your credit starts getting just good enough, they start coming after you, man. They want you to be in that hole, and I'm not buying it. Look, I'm doing okay. I'm doing fine. I've always kept work. I've always kept the job. I've always taken care of myself pretty well. I'm not ready to take care of anybody else right now. But maybe there will be a time, and when that comes, you want to come along. I'm just telling you, because I'm going to have I'm going to have a hell of a good time. And it's coming soon. It's coming around the corner with the new business and a few other things. But this is not the guy we need to, you know, put as in front of us. This is not the guy, for sure. Where was that? Let's see. I think I put it in here somewhere. There's my business partners. Right there. Can you see that? I think you can see it. Yeah, okay. Nope. Go back to here. Go ahead. I was going to go to Hawaii this December, and then I think we're changing it to May or the end of, or after summer next year, but it's definitely happening. Definitely happening. You want to come along for that ride? I'm going to tell you right now, it is going to be fucking fun. It is, I will be YouTubing from the islands for sure. And I'll probably do one when I go out to Colorado to visit with family out there. Your children and your family will always be better with a big farm or ranch as their foundation. I totally agree. Yep, my goal, like I said, get some land. There's still a plot of land, interestingly enough, that I was looking at back in about 3 or 4 years ago in West Virginia that I'm still constantly thinking about that. It was just tucked away under the cement bridge. It's like 4 or 5 acres. It's just, I'm sure it's still there, and there's a few out there that you could really pick up really inexpensively. Missouri's the same way. I have no idea why people fucking want to live out in California. It's just shit right now. Recommend these guys. Beauty and the Boomer. They always have some good stuff. And then, yeah, chemtrails. Chemtrails are back as soon as the government opened. Just, I mean, today was littered. Completely littered. The sky was littered with chemtrails. Cancel culture is still here, even though Donald Trump is president. Yeah. Inciting the Dems. Oh, this is. I gotta play this one. This is really good. Let's see if I'll. Let's see if I can. I gotta play this one. This is good. This is wait.
Let's talk about the fact that President Trump incited an erection.
His various cases of, you know, he's got charges of inciting an erection.
Donald John Trump incited the erection.
They didn't like Donald Trump. They said he participated in an erection.
Let's talk about the fact that President Trump incited an erection.
His various cases of, you know, he's got charges of inciting an erection.
Yeah, that was proven to be wrong, but a lot of people probably did get an erection off of that. I said the plane. Fucking hilarious. All right, back to here. Let's keep rolling. Let's keep rolling here. All right, what else we got? What was this? Oh, didn't understand. Okay, let's see that one. I don't know what that one's about. Like father, like son, and if you know about Hunter Biden, then you'll understand. Yeah, you gotta. Let's see if I can just. Trump recently.
Welcome to the front row. Do you remember what I told you? No, not smile. No date till you're 30. All right. Hey, Angel, how old are you? You're 12. What's your name? How are you? The kids can stay right in the front. You want?
Pretty much.
Okay, here we go.
Weird, just totally inappropriate.
Your microphone's in the way, Jack. Move it.
There's way more than this.
Okay. And up top. Okay. Well, congrats.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Stand right next to me. There you go. And then congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, Anomaly does some good stuff. Just declaring Trump was far better choice than any Democrat, period. Yep, for sure. In my opinion, for sure. For sure. I'm not going to do that one. There was one in here. This is interesting because Zoran Mandami, I guess he's going to be a mayor. They're saying he's not, but I don't know. We'll see.
American melting pot. We do not want to melt into American society and disappear. We want to go into American society with Islamic ideals and revamp their thinking. We want to revamp them. We want to turn them into Muslim individuals. We shouldn't have feelings of a distaste for them or intolerance because they're potential Muslim. Education is one of the most important areas that Muslims have to address. And while our objective, our final objective, is not just to become part of the system that we experience now and that we see, our final objective is to create our own Islamic systems, and not only create Islamic systems for Muslims, but to look at all the other people who are sharing this country with us as potential Muslims. And in that long-range process of making America Muslim, all of America Muslim, American melting pot, we do not...
Yeah, I understand the being alarmed with the MAIA, but I don't want MAMA, Make America Muslim Again, and I don't want MIA, MAIA, I don't want that, Make America Israel Again. I want America first again, everything. And I think I think Make America First is going to, in my opinion, come first. This is kind of alarming here. Just if you want to see this is a little alarming. I'm just like, I don't know, man. Must read this liberal's comment. The comments there is just crazy. I'm not going to go through it, but the image of a gun ownership in America has been white, rural, and Republican. Has it? I don't think so. That's not totally. Do you remember when, and the Democrats always, because they're part of the World Economic Forum, and they're part of the World Health Organization, and they're part of the globalist, basically the globalist predator class, and I've fucking proved that a bazillion times. But there are some Republicans in there that are part of it too, and we know that. Jim Justice is one of them. Here, they're saying, let me just read. The image of the gun ownership in America has been white, rural, and Republican, but that's been changing, or more liberals and minorities have been buying guns. Are we talking about illegal immigrants? Because that's probably the case. And I'm okay with that. But they've always said, take away our guns. And I was there. I was in that place. I'm just like, oh, I can't believe I fucking was there. Because I've proven over and over again that the Second Amendment protects the First. And I get it. If two people walk into a closed brick room that's 10 feet by 8 feet by 10 feet, and you lock the door and one of them has a gun and the other one doesn't have a gun, who's going to be able to say what they want to say? There it is. That pretty much tells you right there. Who's going to shut up, right? Who's not going to be able to prove their point? So we should always have, and I want people to have their guns and stuff like that, but there's a few fucking wackos out there you really don't want. So I'm a little concerned about this one. This is a little too big here. There we go. Make it big, a little smaller. Going down the pike here. Yeah, so this came, and I commented on it. That no talent comment with Trump's interview with Laura Ingraham recently is really slapping in the face, and of course he probably doesn't give a shit, but it does seem like a not American first comment. It doesn't. Yeah, there's a lot of talent across the United States. However, there are lots of teenagers that are coming from other countries that are focusing on skills, technical and demand jobs, and your son and your daughter must be prepared as they are going to meet competitive competition from across the world. They're going to. It's just the way the world works. There's going to be competition. Do we want domestic DEI program that will force employers to hire Americans first? No. I think what we need is you just need good parenting. Period. You need parents that are understanding what the fuck is going on around them, and they need to not suggest to their kids what they should do. They need to make them do what they need to do. And then when they're 18, they'll be prepared, and they'll turn around in college or at some point or in the working world, and they'll turn around and go, thanks, Dad, thanks, Mom, for making me take those courses, for making me go to school, for making me learn to be independent, for giving me that ability to be competitive, that ability or that training to overcome adversity, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, to stay focused, stuff like that. But here's the thing. Let me just open this. Right.
Visa holders in America. Now, who is coming to this country to take these high-skilled jobs? As I mentioned, STEM fields dominate the occupations, and most of the workers come from India. In fact, 70% of H-1B visa holders come from India. Another 10 to 15% come from China. 80% of H-1B visa approvals are for entry-level or junior.
Oh shit! What did I just do?
Level jobs. That's a little hard to stomach when we hear that we're not talented enough or that we're not skilled enough for these jobs, when you consider that most of these jobs are actually at entry or junior level jobs. And it's definitely to the benefit of corporations, tech companies that can hire foreign workers, trust me on this, cheaper than American workers. This is laid out, by the way, by billionaire tech entrepreneur Palmer Luckey.
There's so much H-1B abuse. You would not believe what I saw when I was in Silicon Valley. It is insane. It's obviously a program to try and replace U.S. workers with basically slave labor that can't ever escape. The H-1B abuse is crazy.
700,000 H-1B visa holders in America. Now,
yeah, so that's what they are walking into. They don't know. They don't care. They'll take the better paying jobs because they're not really getting a lot of money fucking from their own countries. So knowing that they can make 2 or 3 times more, even though we want to call it slave labor, and then the people that are, the kids that already work here are saying, well, that's not enough money for me, especially if you're in a fucking blue state. So this entire thing needs to be fixed. This entire thing needs to be revamped. I don't want to disclude these people that are out there, but at the same time, I want to make sure our kids are being trained properly. And that comes with the education process out there. That comes from your parents. That comes from your schools, your school boards, making sure they're ready. Bring back shop classes. Teach them, you know, the greatest thing that I've always said was there in California, I don't think they have it anymore. It's called the Regional Opportunity Program, which you would get money for working. You would get credit for working and make money at the same time. And you would go into jobs that didn't matter where it was, but if it was in a field of study that you were involved in or trying to do, you would get credit for it, for sure. But I think they should just work, period. Because everything pertains to everything. I don't care if you're a waiter or if you're swinging a hammer in a construction site. At some point, you're going to touch technology. At some point, you're going to touch several different industries. You're going to be around it. You're going to be a part of it. You need to understand how management works, how people, how supervisors. You need to see how managers manage their supervisors, and how the chain of command and work works, and how to conduct yourself, and how to be professional, and no harassment and all this other shit. You have to learn those things. This is the fault of the parents, in my professional opinion. All right. Now, MTG is kind of going extreme. She wants to get rid of the H-1B visa to India and to other countries. I'm at the point where, man, this is a tough one. I'm going to say it. I want to make sure that if you're working here or if you're coming here, you're going to help us. This is my country. If you want to come and train, I get it. We have things you can learn here that you probably can't learn at home or whatever country you're from. I get that. But if you're going to be a citizen and you're going to stay, then that's fine. If you're going to build a house and a family and live out here, that's fine with me. Right? But we need to make sure that these kids are trained properly and ready to go. Let's find out what they're doing out there. How are these kids that are coming over here from other countries? They're like 19, 20, 21, 22. Some of them that I've worked with from India have been up to, I think the oldest one was like 28 years old, working with us. But they're learning things that they need to learn, and then they go out in the field and they go get a job with fucking Google or whatever, right? Right? So we need to really start looking into this. I don't think we should cut them off fully, no. But if you're going to work here, if you're going to be a part of this country, stay. Use those skills that we're teaching you to be a part of this country and help it grow. Be productive for the country that's being there for you, giving you your freedoms, right? No, you don't have to eat steak. You don't have to eat pork or whatever the case may be, but you do. But you just need to be a part of this economy, our country. Make America first again. I think that's what she's getting to, and I get that. So, yeah. Something needs to happen. I'm not really sure, but I am for making sure that our kids are first. That's it, period. That's just me. I want my kids, not a DEI thing, not they're clueless, they don't have the training, they don't have a certificate at least or something, and you just want to give them that job. No. Right? And the ROP system could work too. That's why I brought that up. You know, go into learning that field, whether you're a janitor in a fucking big office that's doing, or a big facility that's doing a lot of quote unquote science, computer science technologies in that facility, but at least at a certain point they can start learning that stuff, or the whatever. But they got to start being part of this era. It's gonna happen. There's this big long thing about her. She wants to fucking do that. I think that's fine. But if you're coming to this country, you can learn a little bit and go back. That's fine. This we go to other countries too. But at a certain point, we have to make our kids first. I just sorry. That's just I understand that. And then there are people waiting in line right now, trying to become American citizens too, that were just recently slapped in the face for the past 4 years with the illegitimate Biden administration, while they let in 18, 20, whatever million people. That was fucking nuts. Let me see. I want to keep going down. There's one here.
CNN must be afraid of a lawsuit. We do want to be clear. The president, Trump, did not receive or send any of the messages, which largely predated his time as president. He's not been accused of any criminal wrongdoing in connection with Epstein or Maxwell. Wow, CNN must be afraid of a...
Yeah. They tried to release all this information, all mainstream media, like I said, and then now they're just redacting and apologizing. It just was fucking... The whole move was just extremely retarded. I'm just like, what the fuck? Oh, you guys remember this? The J6?
Hey, man. Glad to see you guys. You guys are fucking patriots.
Good to see you guys. God bless you, man. That's probably an agent right there. Over 270. Getting ready for the photo ops.
So, first of all, they walk in.
Right, I got that from Ryan Christian. I'm glad he's been on my show, by the way. Or was he on with Stevie with Redneck Economics? Stevie with Redneck Economics, yeah. But it was a great interview. I recommend you guys go see it, and do me a favor, try to get her to get back on, because she's needed. Go back here. I got a few of these videos of there's so many. J6 was a big scam. This is it. I think the way I set this up and the way okay. So there's no damning information. Period. I don't care what you say. I just know that. All right. From all the research that I've done, if you need the information, let me know. But the reason why Trump came out and said it was hoax, he was terrible at the fucking... He's just not an actor. I get it. That's fine. He doesn't have to be a good actor. He just needs... he's just the art of the deal guy, right? I predicted that Trump would throw his Epstein hoax chum in the water, sit back, watch the fishing pole with Epstein bait on the tip of his hook, and patiently wait. And sure enough, like I said, they fucking bit. They recently just bit. They tried to throw out some information from their own people, implementing fucking Obama and everybody else with these jovial conversations. The Democrats would eventually get desperate to release their derived version, which that's what it was, because we all know that they have had a full copy of the entire Epstein file for who knows how long. And sure enough, that they bit, and they bit hard. Then they redacted, made up new words and phrases, and again, as I stated almost a year ago, attempted to make it appear as though Trump is implicated. Yep, that was easy. That was easy for Trump. And I don't think they're going to come after them ever again. I don't think there's nothing. I think that's going to start to go away. Because they just don't have anything. Right? And this is the biggest point here. Right? Let me see if you're watching that. This is the biggest point here. All right. I got to get back to it so I can read it. Oh, so far, a third time in 6 months, Democrats in Congress block a unanimous consent vote to release the Epstein files. We already know for a fact that their Obama or the boss elected grand jury judges have disallowed the Epstein files to be released. And the Democratic Party had the White House and the House of Representatives for 4 years with the illegitimate Biden administration and presidency and never mentioned it once. When you finally get it, let me know. That's pretty much it. Look at this fucking goofball. You know, what am I saying? The only reason why I'm posting this deranged man to pull up his butt puppet. Poll, it's supposed to say poll. The only reason, I did this on my phone. You know, voice recognition shit sucks. The only reason that I'm posting this deranged, demented, pull up his butt puppet that has no clue what the fuck was going on in the past 4 years or today is because he was an absolute illegitimate president. And he was never legally or constitutionally or by any standard of ethical voting laws and ordinances was the actual president of the United States. And that will come out within the next 6 months to a year. Buckle up, because it's going to be a very bumpy ride for all the Demoncrats. Now, that's wishful thinking. I'm going to tell you right now that's wishful thinking on my part. Because, and I'm going to kind of end with that, because I really think that a lot of these Republicans want the Democrats. They like the fucking ping-pong match, the tennis match, right? But like I've said, Trump has more than enough information, and we know Cash Patel has much more information besides standing up for his girlfriend who's getting hit with slander and shit like that, which I get it. I would too if my fucking woman was getting harassed or bombarded. I would fucking do the same thing. I don't have anything against that. Fine, that's fine with me. What's this? Oh yeah, the prices of I want to get another rifle. Honestly, it's just I need something more compact. I'm looking at the 1911s and these. I mean, look at this. This is the AR-15 for fucking $350. Fuck, the 308 is wonderful to use, by the way. That was fucking awesome. Let me get out of here. Where am I at? Okay, let's go back to me and then we're done. All right. I don't think I want to. Let me see if there's anything else on YouTube. Oh, God. Is there anything else on YouTube? We're going to find out right now. Here we go. All right. Prosecutor frame Americans. Oh, this. I want to talk about this. I'm just going to mention it, and that's pretty much it. Yeah. So, by the way, just letting you know, the whole Charlie Kirk thing isn't going away. Sean Ryan just jumped in yesterday. And he doesn't like what the fuck's happening with all that either. But the other thing I want you guys to remember, especially if you're in a blue state and you're a Democrat, prosecutors frame Americans over Dominion voting machines. They literally caught Dominion attorneys on tape. Somebody didn't turn off the mic, and they have them saying just not nefarious, like damning phrases and sentences and talking points, and admitting that they were trying to find any charges or anything they can to stop these people from finding out that Dominion or these like electronic voting machines were rigging elections. Then they've been doing it for a long time, and I'm really surprised. And I've said this on several occasions. On several occasions. Those should be allowed to jump into every blue state, every blue county, every blue city, and find out what's going on with these elections. You know, even in the everywhere. I'm not just, I'd start with the blue ones first, but I would go everywhere. I would fucking say, hey, look, man, we're going to come in, we're going to do our thing. Provide us with what you have. We need to check your hard drives and all this other stuff. But if that started happening, could you imagine the amount of computers and hard drives and documents that would be shredded and shit like that? I mean, that company, Iron Mountain, where they store a lot of fucking pretty nasty shit in regards to pretty much everything, would be just very busy. But they need the task force to do that for sure. Because I don't trust any of those machines. I trust paper ballots. Ranked choice voting is fucking retarded. Because I don't want the retarded person running my city, my state, my county, or my country. Right? Because I'm just telling you, you don't either. Right? Here it is. Paper ballots with a copy of what you did, and then the ability to go back and reconfirm that information that you've done, and that needs to be submitted, and it needs to be counted, and it needs not just the Republicans and the Democrats, but a third and a fourth party there to make sure everything's being counted properly and correctly, to go over what these people are doing out there. We have to uphold that system of being accountable and have the oversight that's out there. Anyway, I just, and back to MAFA and MIA and MASA and MAHA and MAGA and all this other shit. It's just, and the attack on Massey and Trump recently just going after MTG. Look, MTG is listening to her constituents. That's what they want to do. That's what they're about. They're going to reelect her because they like her. Whatever you say, Trump, I don't think I don't know if you're losing your weight, bro. Not physically, but you're kind of losing your influence. And I know that's kind of going to be hard for him to hear that. But if you start putting other countries and major corporations in front of us, then yeah, you're going to be. You might as well be a Democrat. Yeah, I'm going to say it. Yeah, those $2,000 checks would be good for a lot of people. I could probably use a few bucks, of course. I bought a what the fuck is those? I just recently bought a really nice backup battery when the lights went out, because the lights went out for a couple hours yesterday. I was like, fuck, and I wasn't ready for the battery. My light bulb was in my flashlight was shitty. And it was very dim when I turned it on. I was like, this ain't. So I waited for like an hour and a half, an hour and 45 minutes. Not a big deal. But it got me thinking. So I went and got a nice battery pack, backup battery. This battery pack that I got can last for 3 to 4 days. It's fucking cool. It's a little pricey, but it's worth it. I recommend everybody do the same thing. It's not full prepper shit, but I recommend you just be ready for things to happen, right? Get prepared. Things could be stupid. And that's the thing I want to also point out about MAFA, MAHA, MIA, and this polarization. That's a revolution that would be stupid. But like I said, Netanyahu's just laughing at it, and he really believes he's got Donald Trump in the palm by the balls, but he doesn't. I don't think he does. I don't know what it is. Like I said, the diamonds, is the money. I don't know, but please, Mr. Trump, here's your job. You work for us. We elected you in that. We hired you for that position to protect, take care of, make sure our well-being, and we are prosperous. The American people, not other countries, not BlackRock, not other fucking JP Morgan, not anybody else. Us. We're not looking for handouts. We want the ability to be able to live freely, protect our First Amendment rights, get our land, not be taxed like fucking for everything. You got to get registration, all this other bullshit, whatever. But we want us to we want to make sure that we come first. Make America first again. That's what I believe, for sure. Right? We will be great when we're first again, completely first. Then we're great. Right? Try to stay away from that MIA stuff, my IA stuff. Aloha. Thank you very much for